Good morning everyone, how's it going? Eric here, and today we're going to talk about a rattly old mess that is the chances of a direct before E3. Before we get into that though, we have another rattly old mess to talk about, and that is the direct that just never happened. Up in smoke, where'd it go? And we kind of know where it went. Nowhere, because there never was one. Basically, the sources for this leak were about as credible as the sources in your cupboard, so yeah, that is why it never happened. Because Nintendo never wanted it to happen. But don't worry, I'm sure old Uncle Nintendo will give us 2 directs next week and make Reggie stay on for 1 more unpaid week so he can be there for that direct. I am being very facetious here because I'm a little bit razzled up this morning by the people who are saying that don't believe anything that doesn't come from the mouth of Nintendo, which is true. You know, I'm 100% behind that cause. Unless Nintendo tell me that a direct's happening, probably not happening. However, these same people are the ones that cite 2 new consoles that are definitely going to be revealed at E3, and I'm kind of like, well, you know, as far as standards are going, you kind of got double of them at the moment. Anyway, that is true. Don't believe anything unless it comes from the mouth, the nose, or the ear holes of Nintendo. And that doesn't matter because we've got something more important to talk about today. We're going to talk about the chances of a direct actually happening, because this is all spurred by the fact that everyone wants a direct to happen. And I always want a direct to happen, mind you, but I don't think we always need to be on that hype train of when is the next direct happening? When is it?
When is it, Nintendo?
I think we can all just settle down for a second and go, okay, there's going to be one when there's going to be one. Let's not get too excited here. Let's still get excited, talk about the games, but let's not just go jumping at directs like the traffic and wow, that was bad. Let's not go jumping at directs like we're children and there's puddles of water on the ground. Whew. Saved it. Let's start by going through what we actually know instead of separating the facts from the fiction here. The fact is that the last directs that we have were both in February. They were just a mainline direct, and then at the end of that month we also had a Pokemon direct. So that means if it was the end of the month that we had the February Pokemon direct, then if we're waiting to from that until E3 for a direct, there's technically March and April and May that we're not going to have a direct in. That makes 3 months without a direct. Now, it's quite common that we would actually get a direct sometime in between that period, but it's not guaranteed. We've just come off a big period without a direct, so maybe they want to do that again. Maybe there isn't a lot for them to announce, that they don't want to just have another direct for no reason. But let's go through that. What could they actually put into this, and why would they need it? We know there's a lot coming up in late 2019, but what is coming up at the moment that is most crucial that would need to go into this direct? Of course, the one on everyone's mind, the first thing that kind of jumps to my mind, and always, is Mario Maker. Mario Maker is coming out around the time of E3, so chances are they're going to want to show that off in some capacity before E3. They could show it in a trailer. Personally, I think that it needs a little bit more shown than that, but that's always a possibility. We know Mario Maker is coming out in June, but there's always a chance that it could be late in June. It doesn't have to be right after E3, it could be late. The fact that we think it's after E3 is because of a rumor going around at the moment. God, is this whole thing about rumors? I'm so sick of rumors. If it was to actually come out in late June, it would give them the chance to show it off during E3 and have some treehouse footage after and show us a little bits and bobs through that, rather than having a full-blown direct beforehand. I personally think that it's more likely we could see something beforehand, but who knows at this stage? And I'm not going to speculate any further because I already spent a whole episode speculating on Mario Maker and there being a direct and what could be in it, blah, 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 blah. Now, the other major thing that people are just throwing in our faces at the moment and saying this is the reason there has to be a direct is that the Joker reveal, the Smash 3.0, all that Smash stuff has got to be revealed at some point, and I think that that's quite likely, especially since it's coming up soon, that it could be thrown into a direct. Again, to me, this is something that could be in a trailer, especially if it's got its own Mario Maker direct. Back on the Mario Maker already, Eric, come on, buddy. But Smash Brothers and Joker probably doesn't need its own direct. Something like a trailer, even just a longer trailer, could reveal everything that we need to know about this. Now, of course, there's the 2 major corporal reasons that we will possibly see a direct sometime before E3. But what about the other games, you say, Eric? There's a lot coming out in 2019. What does the future hold for us gamers? We must know now. Well, I think some of these games we can kind of jump through and realize why we might not even need to see these before E3. I do want to say this definitely doesn't rule any of these out. If we get a direct and they do one, they could definitely They could definitely throw these all into there, but I don't think they need to, which is kind of a reason why I'm looking at it as they don't need to do a direct. Get to the point, Eric. All right, so let's jump through some of these games here. So we've got Fire Emblem as first up. Now, we've just had a direct featuring that majorly, so I don't think we need another one again showing off some more features, especially as the theme is going to continue with all of these. if they show it again at E3, we don't need more information. There'll be 3 lots of information in a row. It's just kind of just throwing us with too much Fire Emblem. I know that you fans out there are definitely going to disagree with that. I'm just saying, as a dude with a camera who isn't devoted to Fire Emblem. Then we got Luigi's Mansion, which we actually haven't heard a lot about since that initial kind of release. So there's a chance they could maybe want to say some more from that. But again, we've got E3 where they can show us some more. And then if it's a later in the year game, let's say like October or something like that, Halloween, we all know. I think that if we see it around then, well, they have time for another direct before that even after E3. So there's no need to rush into one now. Link's Awakening, of course, is just another similar situation where you're like, well, what? How much have they got to show more of that game? Like, we've seen it, we've got the concept. Have they got some other feature they want to show us? Or like, yeah, we'll wait for it when it comes out. And again, later in the year. So I don't think they're desperate to just shove us with more information about that game that we probably don't need. Daemon X Machina, again, we don't really need a huge amount more information on that, especially since we got that demo now. They've kind of showed us the demo, maybe one more trailer before it releases or something like that. And then that can kind of be it. I don't think they need a whole nother direct displaying more of this stuff. Astral Chain's a bit different. I think we maybe, or definitely need to know more about that game. But again, E3 is coming up. How many times do you want to show it and where do you want to show it? And maybe later in the year again. And then of course you got Pokemon, which I don't need to repeat myself again, you get the idea with this one. But last of all here, you're thinking Animal Crossing. What about Animal Crossing? That's something that we do need to see a lot of. However, I think that this is going to be their major focus around E3, and so displaying it before E3 kind of might take some of that presence away. So I really see them just saying we're going to hold off and then do a big reveal of this thing at E3, Animal Crossing at E3, because that will really excite people and that's going to be their major thing. Remember, again, that is all just speculation on my behalf of reasons that it might not happen. That's not reasons that it won't happen. Now, there is actually a couple more reasons that it could or couldn't happen that we should actually touch on here. And the first one is, well, what about new games? They may have new games that they want to announce, and this is like a pre-E3 Direct would be a good place to show them off. However, again, E3 might be also a good place to show off those new games. So that's another one that I'm just going over. And then what about some of those other games that we know about? Stuff like Town, well, where's that? What about Cadence of Hyrule? That's coming out beforehand. Maybe you want to hear about that. Well, first of all, Town, that could be later in the year, so it's possible we could see more on that later then. And then we've got the one that I just mentioned, that I'm forgetting the name of. Cadence of Hyrule. So Cadence of Hyrule, this was in a Nindy showcase. Now, I don't think they're gonna now transfer this over into a major direct. I think this is, it's been showed off. They may give us a little bit more before the game actually comes out. I'm just not sure whether they'll dive fully into this and say, we're ready to go all in. So and that is going to do it for today. But if you enjoyed what happened here, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, be very much appreciated. And remember, for great Nintendo entertainment, you can count on me. For today's end screen, I was just flicking through my eShop as I do, and on here was Minute, and I thought, you know, that's a really cool game. I want to do a quick shout out to Minute because it's getting a physical edition. It's probably quite expensive, so maybe you just want to get it digitally, but it was a really cool game that you basically have 60 seconds to finish. By like you die, then you start again, and you unlock more routes. Really interesting, really hard to explain in 20 seconds, but definitely check it out. And that is it. So goodbye.